Okay, so tonight I want to show you how to do a catch stitch. If you remember, the slip stitch that we talked about last time went from right to left. That's a stitch that you would use general purpose if you're going to do put down put a waistband down, if they say turn under the edge and hand stitch in place. But this is for hemming. Now some of you will already know this stitch, and for those of you who don't, I'm going to tell you why I like it. It is a little more obvious in that you'll see more thread. However, it goes from left to right. It's a very secure stitch. So this hem, even though you might feel there's a little bit of thread there, in fact what it will do is it won't come out as easily. So if you catch your hem, the thread will break there and the whole hem is not going to unravel and fall down, at the awards night on you. The other thing that's marvelous about this hem is it's a zigzag stitch, and it is the only hand stitch that in fact really is a zigzag stitch, and all zigzag stitches by definition are stretchy. So this is the hem that I would use when I want to hand hem a knit, which I would do, for example, a silk knit, a fine wool knit, anything that I really didn't want any machine stitches to show, because it's flexible. So, and also because it is flexible, I should probably stop talking and do it. Because it's flexible, it actually is less likely to break. Now, it goes from left to right. Another really important thing is you want this anytime, you want to use this stitch anytime when you have to tack something down. Like for example, when they tell you to tack a facing down at a shoulder seam, or an armhole facing and an underarm seam. If you use a little slip stitch there, it's going to be fairly rigid and it might pucker. We've all done that, hand tack down a facing and then had it pucker and pull from the right side. This stitch has a little mobility built into it. So it will do the job, which is tack it down, attach it, but it will move a little bit as you and the garment move, so you're not going to have those puckers. So it's just I could talk all night about ways you could use this stitch, but anyway, I won't, and I bet you're glad about that. By the way, let me know in the comments what you think of these incredibly homemade and random videos, because it occurred to me there's a lot of little things that I do in sewing that I can quickly show you how, because a lot of people are visual and would rather this than words. Okay, so I've knotted my thread, I brought it up, still have the marker in my thumb, it's kind of hard to get out. I am going to be in Portland, Oregon at a quilt market, a show next week. Anyway, I should probably show you this. So it comes up. This part we can all do. It's interesting because it backs into the work. So even though you're going from left to right, notice this is really interesting. The point always points to where you've come from and not where you're going. It's a very retrospective approach in the part of the needle. So you do a little bit of take a couple threads here, okay, in the fabric. Then you take a little bit. People do it in different sizes. I may be doing it slightly larger so you can see it. So you just go back and forth like this. I actually think it looks neater when it's when they're a little closer together. See, it's a little X. So it goes a little bit into the fabric of the garment. And again, always keep the needle looking to where you've come from. Kind of morose attitude for a needle, but anyway. There we go. But it works. There's a cross, see? It's very, you will find this actually in a lot of really good old dressmakers always did their hems this way. It's such a nice rhythm to this stitch. And again, I'll do a little bit more and then you can see how flexible it is. There we go. I have to tell you a good story about my book. I have to tell you, writing the book I liked. The whole, like, what you do when a book is published is kind of weird. I'm kind of shy and embarrassed about it. So you don't see a lot of like really competent marketing from me. But I had a very nice moment with my granddaughter Scarlett, and I went to our local library and I gave them a copy of the book. And that was the only time in this whole since I've been published thing. I haven't even looked in the book myself because I don't want to find any typos that I missed. But standing in the public library with such a nice librarian, I've known him for years, saying, oh, that was, really good, they put it in the collection. That was the moment when I was really glad that I had gotten into print, because I thought, you know what, somebody's going to come in, some mother pushing a stroller, or somebody who's just retired and thinks she'd like to get back into sewing, and maybe they'll borrow my book, and maybe they take it home and they'll sit at their own kitchen table, and maybe it'll be something that will be useful. And that was a moment I was really glad I wrote the book when I gave it to the library. Okay, so see how actually it looks kind of nice. Now, I want to take some of these pins out. See how flexible that is, even though this isn't a woven? So you see that doesn't actually, look, it's on the other side, can't really see anything. So it's got that flexibility. Look at that. Oh yeah, look at that. That's like great. Look, it moves around, it doesn't break. And because it has that movement, you don't get puckering on the other side. Now, I have so many things I want to show you and so many hand stitches. Saturday morning, I'm going to see my mom in Winnipeg, then I'm going to Portland, so I might be off the air. It might be hard for me to blog, except in print, although do expect Flypaper Thoughts in the next week. But then we're going to get back to more of this, and if you're not too offended by the amateur nature of these little videos, I think they're kind of fun, and I wouldn't mind doing more of them, just little techniques. Okay, happy sewing. Thank you.